So, what if I told you that there is a conspiracy theory suggesting that Stanley Kubrick himself was brought in by the US government to direct the fake moon landing footage?
I have heard about this one.
So, my favourite film director of all time is Stanley Kubrick, so this is why this...
He's a great film director. Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, some brilliant films.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes, yeah. So when this subject came up, I was really...
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, although that gets a bit... Yeah.
Nicole Kidman without much on.
Yes, for the majority
Anyway,
of the
back
film.
to the moon landings.
Well, there was a moon in it.
I also love analysis of film and analysing film myself. So this theory does kind of link into the moon landing in quite an interesting way. On top of the suggestion that he directed the moon landing, he allegedly confessed his involvement in the hoax through the film The Shining, which is also one of my favourite
We've
films
all
of all
heard
time.
of this, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we watched it, didn't we?
We watched it as part of our research, just to refresh our
Yes.
outlook on it.
So, as a caveat, there are some very interesting, strange, unexplainable things that happen in The Shining, which have people confused, such as furniture disappearing between shots, the layout of the Overlook Hotel being inconsistent, characters entering a particular room and leaving different rooms in the same scenes, and even an entire carpet rotating between shots.
Wow.
So
we looked for that. And
We did. We honestly did.
and didn't see it.
We didn't
Yeah.
notice.
there is a very good... I'll get onto it in a little bit, but...
Okay.
so
we want to know where this rotating carpet is.
Yeah. So the film itself is bizarre anyway, so this theory kind of adds into that. Kubrick was also known to be a perfectionist, so it's unlikely that these mistakes, as he was known to retake shots over and over again until they were exactly how he wanted them. It's kind of bizarre
'cause
that these mistakes
Didn't he,
would creep through.
in one shot, wasn't it like taken 400 times or something?
Yes. Shelley Duvall was kind of...
Screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, at the door
Yeah.
where the axe is coming through.
Yeah, I think that whole sequence, he took kind of 400, 500 shots, and yeah, we'll go
Blimey.
into that in a different...
I would say a lot of shots. People would like to expand it a bit. That's
Oh, yeah, it's exaggeration. It's rife.
A poor woman, she would be screaming by the end of that.
So yeah, the one theory that sticks out the most to me, and the reason I'm bringing it up, is the moon landing confession.
Right.
So the fact that he used The Shining as a confession to the moon landing. So I'm going to try my best to explain this theory.
Okay, go for it.
The theory begins with another brilliant Stanley Kubrick film, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was released in 1968, just 1 year before America had landed their first manned mission on the moon in 1969, with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin,
And the third one.
whose name was Michael something.
Yeah, we're going to feel really bad.
No, I should know this.
Michael Collins?
Yes, no, it was
I
Mr.
believe.
Collins. He really does never gets it. He should literally have. He always misses out, bless
He
him.
did the hardest bit as well to kind of
Yeah.
keep it.
Yes, he was making sure they got back.
Why do I kind of feel like they should all have like jumped out at the same time?
Yes, so since Stanley Kubrick had already shot 2001: A Space Odyssey, it was believed that he was hired by the American government to shoot the fake landing. In quotations, the fake landing.
Right.
If you watch that film, the visual effects are unbelievable,
Phenomenal.
for the time. And this has led some people to suggest that he used similar visual techniques and effects to create a convincing looking moon landing. You can kind of see in the film that it's very ahead of its time. So the theory is that potentially he used the same technology to fake the moon landing.
Although that would have been, it was 1980 The Shining was released, wasn't it?
Yes.
So we're talking good old 10 years. I
Yeah.
mean, it was released in 80, so I know he was probably filming it in 79, wasn't he? So 10 years.
Over 10 years, yeah.
10 years. So technology would have improved anyway.
Yes.
10 years of filmmaking.
Yeah. So this is where The Shining comes into the theory. Conspiracy theorists believe that there are multiple clues in the film that point to the fact that Kubrick shot the moon landing, and this was his way of confessing it. So just a disclaimer, I don't personally believe this theory, and I'm not sure any of us really
I'm
do.
going
But
to jump in there. They believe it's his confession, but
Yes.
it must be pointed out that he, while he was alive, never.
no, I think
And-
there's also a...
And am I right, Jack, in thinking that most of this came out after his death? Because I know
Yeah.
that his family have been adamant that they wished people wouldn't keep bringing this
Oh,
up
no,
because
sorry.
because their family said he never had anything to do with it. He didn't film the fake moon landings, and they wish that people would stop going on about this.
Okay, I apologise
Now-
to the Kubrick residents.
But then you'll have people saying, "Oh, that's because the government is probably threatening them if they say they."
Well, anyway, I'm just bringing it up because it's an interesting.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we're coming from
take.
the focal point of the conspiracy theorists
Yes.
who say there's things in this film
Yes.
that are so blatantly obvious
Well.
that he's saying,
Yeah.
"I'm giving you the clues here, guys."
Okay, so I'm going to try and my best to explain these.
Go for
Okay,
it.
go for it.
The Overlook Hotel.
There, look at it.
At the beginning of the film, it's mentioned that the Overlook Hotel was built on an ancient Indian burial ground. The manager of the hotel, who shows Jack Torrance around, has an American flag on his desk, and in front of the window in his office is an eagle. This is thought to be a nod to the lunar landing module named Eagle. That's a bit of a stretch, though.
Okay. Are we going to go through all this and then pick up on these points and discuss
Well, you
these
can.
points?
I'm just presenting it.
Wasn't
You can-
there another part of this?
Yeah. See, I spotted something yesterday. Tell me if you've got this down.
Possibly.
But the eagle, I dare say you're going to talk about the window, aren't you, as well?
Not in this theory, but I
Okay,
think I know what you mean.
okay,
Yeah.
We'll talk about maybe the window in a bit. So you've got the eagle and definitely the flag sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
Okay. However, people at that time, and lots of people, even now, people have an American flag in their office
Yeah.
room or whatever. What I noticed, whether it's got anything to do with this, the name of the manager is prominent in all the time in that
In the shot, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't go out the shot. It's there, right at the bottom of the screen. I can't think what the manager's name was. It's Stuart.
Stuart astronaut.
Um,
But if you read it from the front, the words Starman. over the
Oh.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know that.
Now
Really?
they could have chosen any name.
Yeah.
They
And
could
that
have
was
chosen any name,
interesting that
but in that name, you don't have to jiggle the letters about or anything.
Yeah.
You can see Starman.
there's a couple of extra letters in there, but it does say Starman.
Now,
Oh, there we go.
what's the coincidence that the manager would have Starman in his name?
I did not know that.
There you go. We noticed that yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Congratulations.
I'm proud of that now.
Maybe we're the only people that noticed
Oh, yes.
Starman.
Sorry, Kubrick residents. We're adding to the theory.
Down to the theory.
So the second one was the carpet patterns.
Right.
In a
Yeah.
shot taken from above, we see Danny Torrance, son of Jack Torrance,
Mm-hmm.
playing in the corridor on a patterned carpet. Conspiracy theorists believe that it looks strikingly similar to the Apollo 11 launch pad. He even has toy
yeah,
cars and
that-
vehicles placed
Yeah, that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
around the carpet in a similar way to where vehicles would be on the launch site.
Right.
Yeah.
In the same scene, Danny eventually rises up from the carpet and he is wearing a sweater/jumper, depending on what country you're in.
A very poorly knitted one.
Yes. And on it is a rocket with the text Apollo 11. And it's actually got the
Very,
rocket.
very blatant, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we're saying is when he stands up, he is literally
Yeah.
taking off from the launch site.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
This is seen as a big clue that Kubrick is indeed talking about his involvement with the fake moon landing project. As Danny rises up from the carpet, seen as the launch pad,
Mhm.
wearing his jumper, Apollo 11, he enters the dreaded room 237. Now, in the book, the room number was 217, but it is widely believed that Kubrick changed it to 237 as the distance between the Earth and the moon is roughly 237,000 miles.
Yeah.
I actually googled this just to make sure,
Mhm.
and it actually said 238,000 miles.
Oh,
But I assume this is some kind of estimation. Or
Well, since
it does
then,
vary.
they've obviously
Measured
checked
it.
with the mirrors on the moon. and
Yeah.
They've made it exact. This is-
Well, I thought that was interesting. 'Cause it's like,
let's put it this way, it's very close
yeah,
to
Hmm.
the figure.
I thought that was kind of a bit of a contradiction though, because if we can tell how far away the moon is, then surely we would have been able to.
So what was the
Yeah.
what was the number of the room?
Room 237.
But that wasn't the number of the room in the book.
In the book, it was 217.
Yeah, so there was no real reason for him to. I mean, I've got to say that he changed a lot of aspects from the book.
Yeah,
I don't think Stephen King was that happy with him.
not at all. No.
So he changed a lot of aspects. He didn't. A room number is a room number, though.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't need to change it. And to
Yeah.
change it to a number that is very, 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 very close
it's for a reason.
to the distance from
It's for a
Earth
reason.
to
Yeah.
the moon.
I also saw something in a documentary I watched, which I'll bring up in a minute. On the actual tag on the key to the door,
Oh yeah, I saw that
Mhm.
tag.
it says room number, but NO237. So room NO237, which apparently is an anagram for moon room. But it does feel like a bit of a stretch. I
That
didn't
does
write,
feel like a
that's not in my notes, but I know that was something
that's
that,
stretching it. a little
that
bit.
feeds in. You wait for the other ones.
Okay.
Oh,
Other small clues that I found doing my research. We know the famous moment when Jack Torrance is writing, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." This is very silly. Apparently, all, as in ALL, is actually A11.
Okay, Apollo
meaning
11.
Apollo 11.
No, I think that's
No,
stretching it a little
that
bit.
is a
This is
super
one of-
stretch.
One of the biggest reaches, yes.
Yeah, that's a super stretch.
Why do I imagine somebody going through like that frame by frame to
Trying
check to see if
yeah.
one of them looks like a one?
What things they can kind of almost if
Yeah.
carry on.
When Danny comes out of room 237,
Hmm?
he has been beaten, and his Apollo 11 jumper is torn and ripped. He is also silent and doesn't speak when asked what's happening. This is to represent the secret that Kubrick was forced to keep after his involvement in the hoax. This is also added to when Jack Torrance begins to go crazy and rants about his responsibilities for the hotel secrets. So this was basically Kubrick using his characters to vent his
I think from that
frustrations.
point, we only hear Tony speaking, don't we?
For a bit, yeah.
His imaginary friend.
You do your tone.
Hi, I'm Tony. Danny's not here right now.
Danny's gone away.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Buzz. I'm wiggling my finger right now.
You have
I
to
don't
wiggle,
remember
you have to
that
wiggle your finger.
line. That might be possibly an extended one, which I've not seen.
Oh, really?
Really?
I don't remember
There
that
was
line.
half an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
watched
'cause
the extended version.
He was talking
didn't
to
we?
his mother, who what's the surname of the
Torrance.
So he's like, "Hello, Mrs. Torrance."
Yeah, and he's wiggling his fingers.
Here anymore.
I've never seen that scene.
You know,
No.
We finally found
something that Jack hasn't seen.
'Cause I was
no, we ruined it. for you,
we were
Jack.
going through the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've seen The Shining, but I probably saw The Shining back in the early
I've only
80s.
seen. I know
so-
there's a UK cut and an American cut. I've only ever seen the UK cut, which is considerably shorter.
Yeah,
And I know you've seen the American cut.
yeah, which is like half an hour longer.
Yes. And we were trying to figure out which bits I haven't seen, and that's obviously one of them.
Okay. Danny's gone to the moon. That was the bit that probably tipped us off. That. Don't spoil it.
There are some bizarre details in the film that could
Okay.
be considered clues or
Okay.
confessions. However, if you found this theory interesting, I recommend a documentary called Room 237,
Mhm.
which goes into a lot more weird theories about this
Okay.
film. Some of them are just very bizarre, and some
Yep.
of them are interesting. But as this was the moon landing episode, I thought it was an interesting theory to bring up. My personal feeling about this theory is that it's all nonsense. I don't believe it at all.
Okay.